Kameron with a K, and I'm super excited about today's video because it is part one of a series that I'm doing about becoming a lawyer influencer. Basically my journey from undergrad, even before that, I'm gonna get into a little bit, and then all the way up to what I'll be launching at the end of the series. And some of you kind of already know, but I don't want to spill it for those that don't know. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. During this series, I of course will have this sit down part where I'll be chit-chatting with you guys, but I'll try to include some video clips so you guys can really understand my journey and my story. And yeah, y'all know I like to talk when you're new here. I like to talk, okay? But let's get into it. So, where am I from? I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, 810, period. I was actually born in Manhattan, New York, so fun fact about me. I was raised in Michigan. That's really all I knew as a young child. I was 17 when I left Michigan, and my mom left to go to Georgia my senior year in high school, and I was like, girl, where are you going? We were going together. If you're new to my channel, then you probably don't know how close me and my mom are. We're super close. That's my girl, is my best friend. Of course, she's a parent, we get that, but you know, I'm grown now, so. But yeah, I love her to death. She's just amazing. She's definitely my rock and has been a amazing aspect and super important during my journey. There's been days where I just couldn't focus and she would stay on the phone so that I can get that trial team script memorized or finish that essay or study for an exam or just vent about the bar exam. So shout out to my mom, and I know she's gonna watch this and she's gonna eat that up. Y'all welcome. No, I love her to death. So yeah, she moved to Georgia my senior year in high school, and I followed her. I was like, girl, where you going? I went with her. I did end up graduating from my high school in Michigan, which I was so thankful about because I met everyone in high school in like 6th grade. I went to a different school for elementary, but 6th grade up until graduation, I pretty much knew the same people, had the same vibe. I just loved it. I did not want to start a new high school experience senior year. At that age, come on now. Y'all understand, it's too much. That would have been too much. So what I did is I took online classes and I flew up there when needed. So like prom, Sadie's Hawkins, if you're from the Midwest, you know what it is. And everything that I just wanted to still have that senior experience. Looking back, honestly, I do wish I could have had the traditional experience. I do miss some aspects. Well, I guess I don't know because I ain't have it. But I feel like I would have loved having some aspects of a traditional senior year experience. Like I look back in the yearbook and I just wasn't as involved because I wasn't there. But shout out to my best friend Missy Angelica. Yes, I put her whole name out there. She is just amazing. Like we have grown from childhood friends. We met in 3rd grade, somewhere around there. And then now an adult friendship. So I just also want to give a special shout out to her as well. But yeah, went to Kennesaw State University for undergrad. Shout out to my Owl Nation fam. I wasn't really sure what college I wanted to go to, honestly. Let me set it true. I want to go to Georgia State so bad. I want to go to Georgia State so bad, but they did not accept your girl. They did not accept me. Very ghetto. They didn't accept me, and honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. Coming from Flint, or even like Grambling, where I went to high school, and then jumping into Atlanta, it was like, oh shoot. And then like coming to the South, I was like, oh wow. Like it's just a different culture, pros and cons of course. But I love the South. Like I was tired of having to shovel my way to the bus. Because those of you that are in the Midwest and in the North, y'all know we are waiting by the door praying for snow days, and they don't come sometimes when they need to come, okay? So I love that about the South. They saw a little flurry and we were at the house. I said, bet I could do this. And I love the warm weather. I love the culture of the South. I like everything about it. It could be because I'm not from here, so it was naturally appealing because it was something different. So like I was saying about Georgia State, and this is all off the top of my head. I have a slight outline that I'll review while I'm doing this video, but I really just wanted to be an open, honest, like conversation about my journey. I get a lot of questions about the stuff that I hope I'll be able to answer. I've looked at some comments and some previous questions and answers, and I just want to really dive deep into it in this series. So Georgia State didn't accept me, blessing in disguise, because I would have been outside, okay? I mean like outside. I was still in the city and I needed to be at the house. So being downtown, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. You know what, I probably would have, but it would have been harder to handle if I want to be honest. So yeah, I went to Kennesaw State University. I majored in political science, minored in criminology. I thought that's what you had to do to go to law school. I had no idea what the process looks like to get into law school. I had no idea. I didn't know about the LSAT. Who is she? What does she want from me? I had no idea about the legal world. I never knew any lawyers personally. Like I've been to a court and I generally know the court system, whether it's from television shows or previous family things that I had to be in court systems about. But aside from that, I never had like, especially a black lawyer that I could just like call and like ask questions about their profession and their career and how they got there. So that was just a whole new world. And I got to college. I've always been in the performing arts. I love theater. I've been in theater since I could walk, talk, and move. I've always been in front of the camera, behind the camera. I thought I wanted to go into graphic design, so I took like a web design class back in the day where everybody was coding, because we didn't have like where you could actually like plug and play like Squarespace. That's what I use for my website. But I just loved everything about digital stuff, like cameras, videography, photography, like everything. I just loved everything about the entertainment creative space at a young age. But got to college and it was more like, what are you gonna actually do? I feel like if you've ever been like heavily involved in performing arts as a kid, you're probably like, yeah, I'm gonna make my big break when I'm 10. Like, no, I'm gonna make my big break when I'm 13. Okay, fine, 16, and then 18, and then you're like, I'm in college. And I wasn't in a place, one, my family ain't rich. That's what it is. I wasn't in a comfortable place to, I feel like it's a privilege and a risk when you can get into that thing, in that sort of space, like becoming an actress and all that, and I was intimidated by it, and I really needed security. I knew I needed that, and I didn't want to continually to put my mom and my family like in an uncomfortable position because I wanted to spend money trying to go to these acting things and stuff like that. I just personally couldn't do it. Again, I'm an only child. Surprising, I ain't selfish, okay? No, I was scared. If I'm gonna be honest. And then of course, like my mom was like, girl, you gonna do what you gonna do. So my cousin Marilyn, we used to always watch like Perry Mason and like all the Law and Order SVU, and she was a police officer at one time in her life, so like I just love that whole thing. So my academic advisor ironically was a lawyer, so he was like, hey, just test out some classes, just see what you're doing. So I tried out a couple legal like related classes, like legal study related classes, and I was like, okay, I could do this. I've always liked to read and write. I don't know if I've ever said this online. I used to write plays, like play scripts, because I thought maybe that's what I wanted to do. Just anything in the creative space was so attractive to me. Like to read and write. Lawyers read and write. I like to be persuasive, because that's literally what you do in theater and in play and in acting, and that's exactly what lawyers do when they're in the courtroom or even when they're drafting a brief or a motion, etc. So I was like, okay, I could maybe do this. I joined the mock trial team and fell in love. And that's exactly what I wrote my personal statement on, which I'll talk about in the next video, more about my law school like experience in more detail. But that's what I wrote on my personal statement. I wrote about how I could relate like my love for theater and my love for being on stage, and that same feeling I got on stage, I got in the courtroom. So that's when I decided I wanted to go to law school. This was like sophomore year in undergrad, junior year in undergrad. I also then worked for a law firm in Atlanta, and that experience was amazing. I had an amazing first introduction into the legal field. The firm, like towards the end, but in the beginning, it was just great. I was learning so much. It was a debt collection law firm. The office manager was phenomenal. She actually, I want to say, did she write my letter of recommendation into law school? Oh my God, I think she did. I don't know if I'm gonna put names, but maybe I'll leave that out. But like, she was just such an important person in that journey as well. And then also like so many of my coworkers, hey Ashley, like, I mean, I could go on and on. Like the attorneys there were awesome. Like it was just a great time for me. So that was back in the day before they made it a requirement for paralegals to have a certificate. So I was a paralegal at first, then I went to legal assistant because I didn't have a certificate. I ended up going to another law firm, also did debt collection. Those connections that I started to make in undergrad in different law firms with different lawyers in a variety of different areas of law. Yes, I'm saying debt collection, but a lot of them did different things before that and after that as well. Just making those connections showed me how important networking is. So by the time I was like, okay, I'm for sure applying to law school, I had a little bit more guidance. My advisor, the attorneys I've worked with, other professionals that were around, I felt like I had some type of guidance, but I still didn't really see like a black female lawyer. Like I saw, but like I didn't have one that was like my mentor. I get that question a lot. Do you have a mentor? Should I have a mentor? And I think you absolutely should have one. But if you don't, that's okay. Like, that's okay. Use other people as your mentors throughout your journey. You don't have to have just one person. So that's something that I'm grateful for. There's been so many people that have poured into me throughout my journey, even at such a beginning age. So I just am so thankful for that whole process, from growing up in Michigan all the way through graduating undergrad. So graduated undergrad, took the LSAT. During my senior year in undergrad, didn't do good. Very, very low number, very low number. I don't remember my numbers, if I'm gonna be honest. Like I never got asked in law school, like nobody cares, literally. But I think it was like in the 130s. That's what it was. But it's crazy because like I was doing practice tests. I self-studied, by the way. I was doing practice tests, and I mean, your girl was getting it, okay? I mean, 160, 165, 158. Like I was doing it. Got to the test, bombed. Like I've never been great at standardized tests, and it showed, okay? And I also didn't know I wouldn't say the seriousness of the test, but like I couldn't connect. Like this might be real hard. So yeah, it was difficult. I struggled. So I took a gap year unintentionally. I did not want to take that gap year. Looking back, I'm so thankful I did. But then I wish I would have planned to take a year off, because once you're in law school, that's it. Like, that's it. So it was crazy. It was intense. I feel like everybody in college that graduates goes through this like midlife crisis type feel where you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing next. I don't have this dream job I thought I have. I don't even want to do anything in my major, etc. You know. And I think I was feeling that. Even though I knew I was going to go to law school, I still felt like really confused with like what I wanted to do. And it was tough. It was really tough. So I worked at another law firm. Shout out to Ashley from my first law firm. She actually hooked me up with that job. Great money, great experience overall. There were some things. We may talk about that in another whole series. But I learned a lot. Like I learned a lot. It was a personal injury based law firm, but they did some other things. But it was interesting because like this was during the like Johnson & Johnson talcum powder, all that kind of baby powder issue. It was so interesting. So yeah, I had a great experience with that. Great letters of recommendation, and then took the LSAT again. Got a much higher score. I believe I got a 150. It was like a 149, 150, or 151. It was somewhere in there. I can't exactly remember. Literally, nobody cares. Like, I promise you. It's just for the application. Got that in, got my whole application in, and I was like, listen, Lord, if I get accepted, I'll go. Like, if I get accepted anywhere, I'll go. God said, okay, say less. I applied to like 11 or 12 schools, and I think I got in like 7 of them. So I was like, oh, wow. So you want me to go to law school? Like that's where you want me to be? Like just say that. And when I tell you immediately, imposter syndrome was like, you in law school? And I was like, here she go. Always in my business, don't do that. Okay, so also during this time, I started my YouTube channel. And it was like this creative outlet that I didn't know I needed, because once I decided, okay, law school's the route, like naturally you start to evaluate your post online and like just your life in general, and it was super intimidating, but it made me level up in a way that I didn't know that I needed to. But yeah, so I started my YouTube channel. Technically I like started the channel in 2013, and I was like, ain't gonna do that. For context, I graduated high school in 2011. I started undergrad same like regular time, so right after that I graduated undergrad in 2015. So 2013 I was in undergrad, and I was recording videos. Nobody saw those. I don't know where they are, and they need to say where they're at, period, because I know they was raggedy. They was raggedy. But I was watching all the YouTube girls, and this was also during the like natural hair era. I hate to call it that, but come on now, we know. I just stopped getting relaxers, not necessarily because it was trendy. That might have of course played a role, but I just stopped doing it because like I was wearing sew-ins and weaves anyway. So like I just stopped getting it like unintentionally. So during that time I started to wear braids, like Marley twists, box braids, wigs, and that's when I started the affordable wig series. But even before that, I was just throwing up any type of videos that I was seeing, like makeup videos that wasn't really my thing. Child, I looked at some of those videos and I was like, girl, and you ain't. Also, I would have people ask me about my hair. Like people would say, oh Cameron, I love your hair. You're always changing your hair. Like you should do a YouTube channel, you should do this. And I was like, girl, what? And then one day I just uploaded a video, and it's still up there. My very first YouTube video is still on this channel. Yes, you can go look at it, but don't make fun of me. I try to keep a lot of my older videos up. I've archived some of them, privated some college vlogs, because they need to stay where they was at, okay, period. They should have never been up, okay? Yeah, it was just, I loved it. I loved everything about YouTube. I was making $0, 0 and 0 cents, like no money, broke, okay? I was working at law firms, so I was making some money. But like, dang, like I was not making any money. I was putting in so much effort. Like it was just fun. I didn't even know people could make money. Then I don't know, one day either I like stumbled upon a video that said something about some money, and I was like, money where? So after seeing the video, of course I did some research, And all it said at that time, literally y'all, like at that time, all you have to do was turn on the monetization, like turn it on. I know now they have requirements, but like I said, how long this been here? So I turned on a little monetization, and child, when I tell you, I thought your girl was making money. I was so excited. I'll put up the analytics on the screen, but the first time I got I think my first YouTube check was like $101. Like you had to hit the $100 threshold in order for them to pay you out. And when I tell you, I was like, oh, we in there. Okay, like lunch on me, period. Like shopping, and I'm being dramatic a little bit, but no, seriously, I was really excited. Like, put into context, like imagine something you love to do and you getting paid to do it. And I was like, wow, it's impossible. Like it was so possible. So I love that. I love that. So it just made me want to keep going. But I didn't get that first check, if I'm remembering correctly, maybe like 2 years or a year and a half after like starting my channel. Because I didn't turn on the monetization until like a year later. I got my first professional camera. It was a Sony a5100. Oh, what? After I hit, I want to say, was it 10,000 subscribers? I want to say it was like 10,000 subscribers, like right at the beginning of 2015. Love the camera, quality went up. That's also when I started my affordable wig series, just trying to give you context. And I didn't get my first check until maybe mid 2015 or end of 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. If the dates are wrong, y'all gonna see the T on the screen, child. But yeah, I was like, cool. So I graduated undergrad 2015, had to retake the LSAT. I was like, okay. 2016, I started talking about law school because that's when I went to law school. I went to Cumberland School of Law, Sunview University. Okay. I was in Georgia at the time, and I thought that's where I was gonna stay. I did get accepted into some Georgia law schools. I got accepted into Mercer. I did not get accepted into Georgia State. Once again, they're a hater. But I truly believe everything works out how it should. Like, if anything would have changed in life, and like I've always thought, okay, maybe if this one thing would have changed, this one thing would have changed, but my whole life would be different. I'd be fearful to desire to change something in my past because I don't know if I would be where I am today, and I'm so thankful and blessed exactly where I am. Like I'm exactly where I need to be. That's how I feel, and it's an empowering feeling. Of course, there's days where I'm like, this is very ghetto. I don't want to be here. This is the hell no. But overall, I love it here. I do. I really do. I'm not gonna talk about law school again. That'll be in the next part 2. That'll be in the next video. But I do want to talk about why I chose Cumberland. I wanted to go to HBCU originally, but I didn't have HBCU money. Didn't I tell you my family's not rich? And it ended up, again, being a blessing in disguise because I met my boyfriend my first year in law school. I had gotten out of a bad breakup. So also during that time of me taking the LSAT, not doing well, retaking it, doing better, applying to law school, all that, I was in a toxic relationship. It didn't start off like that, but that's just tea. If you've been on my channel for a long time, then you see him, but that's dead and gone, okay? Maybe I'll do like a video on that, but this is more about my career trajectory, okay? But I have to give context to a certain extent. I think different areas of our life, even if it's unrelated to like our career, we're talking about our career, they definitely are the building blocks and stepping stones to the next phase. And it may be why I make certain decisions and I move a certain way. But yeah, that's it. I was just so thankful to get into law school, if I'm being honest. Like I was just so, I felt like I was in a, like, I don't know, it was like out of body experience. I know it's like not that deep. Y'all have to understand, like I've never been to top A student in my class ever, undergrad, high school, but everybody was almost basically high school, elementary, I loved math. I was a math tutor undergrad, but like I didn't feel like I was gonna be a lawyer. I didn't feel like a lawyer. All the lawyers I seen didn't look like me and didn't act like me, okay? I thought I had to like sacrifice my soul and my personality to be a lawyer. And until I got to law school and I started meeting other lawyers. And I know I met lawyers like while I was in undergrad and all that, but I was still in that like young mindset, like I was still trying to act a little bit like what I thought I was supposed to act. But you do, I feel like when you get accepted into law school, yes, I accepted into law school, and like when you start law school, you get how could I put this? You get like a level of confidence. Like you like, I'm a law student. I don't know, like I felt like it was like you can know how to do a job, right? But like you can have the credentials, but like having the title is like, I don't know, like I always knew I was smart and like I love to read, I love to write, I love to research, I love like all that kind of stuff that comes with like the educational aspect of being an attorney and being a law student. But like, I'm a law student. It was great, it was great. But yeah, let me check my notes and see if I got anything in this part, because girl, we can sit here and kiki all day. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for part one. I definitely want to get into part two. Is going to be good. It's going to be, I'm going to talk about the moment I like stepped foot on Cumberland's campus. I guess really quick before I end the video, I do want to say why I chose the school generally, because I'm not going to talk about that in the next one. I'm just going to go into once I started. I chose Cumberland, one, they gave me a pretty good scholarship. It was amazing. I ended up having to max out my student loans anyway because my mom got sick. We'll talk about that in the next video. But the scholarship was definitely appealing. Also, the campus is gorgeous. It's a beautiful campus. Like, we can't deny that. And also, the credibility of the school was super important to me, because if I didn't want to live in Alabama, and at the time, I was like, I'm not staying in no Alabama and am. I love it here. But I wanted a school that had a reputation that I could use, that was transferable, that I could use in other states, other cities, etc. Because I thought I was going to move up to Georgia, or I just wanted to have the flexibility to do so. And the credibility and respect that it had, especially in the South, if that's where I wanted to stay, was great. Also, their trial team was highly ranked, and like I said, I did mock trial undergrad, and I knew I wanted to be in the courtroom. So all of those factors, I met some amazing people at Admitted Students Weekend. Shout out to Sierra and so many other people that I met at Admitted Students Weekend that was like, yeah, I definitely want to go here. I can see myself being a student here. I mean, all the staff was amazing, professors were amazing. I mean, everybody's super nice at Admitted Students Weekend. Everybody got their, like, you know, you'll just know. That's why I always tell people, like, tour schools if you can. I knew that was where I needed to be, and I'm really glad I chose there. But yeah, next part we're gonna start off with me orientation weekend, because that was interesting. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed part one of the series. I would love for you guys to thumbs up this video if you're excited about this. Be sure to leave me some comments down below, questions, comments, concerns. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share this video with your family and friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later! Checking the lighting, checking the sound. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We like this angle. It's just weird. Oh, I need a blazer. Hold on. Yeah, the blazer is giving what needs to be gave. Is the angle good? Can you tell that I'm on this director's chair? I just am here for it. I'm just checking the lighting and the sound to see what it sounds like. If I need to be louder, y'all know I can be loud, okay? It's the bloopers for me.